ladies. It's a little bit cooler right now than it was, if you can say 102 is cool. But remember last night, the night before, it was still 104, 105 at this time.
This is the comfy shaping bra that I've been living in. It lifts and smooths all day, every day, without suffocating me. No digging wires, no heavy pads. Just a 360-degree stretchy.
I knew I'd forget something. All the preparedness that I do, I still forgot to turn the sound off that video, that replay, where I get my, can I read my chat from? We got Brenda in the house now. So we got Jana Jacob, Frida Cassidy, and Brenda 91531. Canada here, Myrtle Beach here. And I forgot where, I think Frida's from Ohio, Iowa. I forgot, and I should remember as many times as I wrote her address down. I should remember where she's from. Oh no, you know what? I was just starting to watch a video of Miley Cyrus telling everything about Dolly Parton, because she grew up with Dolly Parton basically right there. She knew her really well. And I didn't know she passed away today. Oh my God. Because it had in the video, I only watched like a couple of minutes of the very beginning, so it didn't get into anything yet. Yeah, the title read almost like, no, Dolly couldn't have passed away. And see, I've been busy with videos, one thing or another today, and I haven't watched any news. I haven't brought anything up on Dolly on the internet, so I didn't know. But according to that video, that she was saying Dolly only had hours left to live. And I thought to myself, is this another one of those clickbait things to get you to watch the video when really the person is not dying? That's what first came to my mind. But oh my God, it was true, wasn't it? Oh, you better believe it. Pigeon Ford is doing some heavy grieving today. Yeah, I know. Dolly was Miley Cyrus's godmother. She was one of the first people to hold Miley when she was first born. Hi, Diana from Buffalo, New York. She was 80 years old. Can you believe it? She was like 2 years older than me. Does that mean I'm on borrowed time, y'all? Yeah, it's sadly true that she passed away. Yeah, they were just telling me, Joshua. I had just started watching a video of Miley Cyrus telling that she only had hours left to live. So she must have did that video just before she passed away, or she must have published it just before she passed away. Yes, ma'am, I am, Jana. It's hard for me to imagine I've made it to that age, but yes, I am. So I keep thinking, oh my God, I'm living on borrowed time. Many people don't even reach my age, and my mom passed away at, what was she, 86, 87? But people do live a pretty good while in our family. I've got one aunt that she's, 92 now? And I haven't seen her in going on 2 years, but she was up and getting around better than me back 2 years ago. I mean, she lived a good life. She's been healthy. Thank you, Jana. That's what everybody says. They don't believe my age. I've always looked younger. Like I said, I dated a guy that was 13 years younger than me at one time, and he thought I was his age or younger, and he never believed me until I showed him my driver's license, and that just blew his mind. He was just in total awe, when he looked at my driver's license. Yeah, her music, I'm sure, is copyrighted to where nobody's going to benefit it from her except who she leaves the copyright to. Yeah, whoever benefits from the copyright now, which I'm sure is going to be somebody that's in the music business, because most of her family was. I mean, she will probably leave a lot of it to her family. She'll probably leave a lot to Dollyland to keep that going. But being Miley Cyrus is her goddaughter, she's probably going to leave her a bundle too. And good Lord, Miley Cyrus don't need anything left to her. She's got her own fortune. Yeah, I didn't know that. That makes me sad to know that she passed away today. But I'm glad I went live and I found out about it, because, I would have kept watching that video till sooner or later I would have seen that she did. And there's Donna Placedia. First time I've started coughing all day, y'all. I did sneeze when I did my video today because I was using salt and pepper. And when I use salt and pepper, it always makes me sneeze at least once and cough. There's Stevie rocking the house. Yes, Loretta, it's sad that Dolly passed. She's probably going to have some elaborate, fancy funeral, that's for sure. But she deserves it. She deserves every dime that's spent to make her a real fancy, good funeral. She's worked hard all her life to earn the money that she's earned. She's taken care of family with Dollywood because it gave a bunch of them jobs. So, yeah, Dolly was a good person. They said the family will have a small service. Well, it might be small, but it'll be nice, I'm sure. And I don't blame them. Why make a big public spectacle out of it if you don't have to? I mean, sure, she's got millions of fans out there that would love to attend the funeral, but everybody that loved Dolly there's no way you could be at the funeral, so. She wanted to be buried in a bed of cotton because she wore rhinestones for years. Yeah, just because she lived flashy doesn't mean she's going to die that way and be buried that way. She's going to be buried comfortable, I'm sure. I know, Joshua. It just reminds me of, I'm getting on there in years. I don't know how many years I got left. My evening's been going real well. Lucky's been inside all day. He finally wanted to go outside. It was too hot back here because the sun was still on the table. So I let him go out on the front porch. And the last time I looked, just a minute ago, he was still laying there sleeping on the porch there, out listening to the birds. He likes it out there. When it's not so hot, he can't stand it. Yeah, it's so sad that she passed away. It's a shame she couldn't have been with us for a few more years. But I got to remember, just because I'm at my age, that doesn't mean I've only got a couple of years left. I could live past 100, who knows? Or I may die tomorrow. I look around, every once in a while and I see babies passing away. I see people dying at 5 and 6 years old. I see kids in car accidents and die before they even become teenagers. I see teenagers wrecking cars and being killed. Everybody, there's tons and tons of people dying all around us, all different ages. So you're not going to go until your time comes, and we don't know when that is. Yeah, only God knows. None of us are promised anything. Your mom is 87, Jana? Well, good for you. My mom was, I can't remember, I'd have to look at the paperwork, if she was 86 or 87 when she died. That's exactly right. Live your life ready to go, because you never know when that day's coming. Because you don't want to go to the wrong place when you die, that's for sure. And burn eternally. You want to go to heaven and be with your Savior. Exactly, Stevie. Well, they were always pretty hush-hush about any illnesses that she may have had. I'm just wondering what she died of, if there was some illness that she had or something wrong with her that caused her to die at 80. Because, she could have lived right on for many years yet. Jeanette, oh my goodness, your mother's 90. She has 32 stents, and she still walks a mile a day or so. My dad was 93. We never know how long we have. Just keep pushing on. That's exactly right. Just take every day for that day and do the best you can. Yeah, usually the stars are always private. They don't tell you a lot. And Donna has a birthday in 2 weeks. Well, happy birthday, early birthday. And you'll be 77 years old. Mom passed at 102 years old. Oh my God. 102 years ago. Wow, your mom lived a pretty good life then, 100 years old. Yeah, I'm sure, Stevie. Whatever it was definitely terminal. Well, thank you, Joshua. I don't feel like a star. I don't have millions of dollars like most of these movie stars have. Yeah, everything's good, MT. How's everything your way? Yeah, people are pretty much living longer. Well, I don't know. And I've always wondered about that, and I guess I'll go to my grave wondering about that one day. According to the Bible, there's Bible characters that lived for 300 and 400 years. Now, I don't understand that. How could way back in biblical time could people reach 300 and 400 years old when you had no medical knowledge, you had no modern medicine, unless they measured the years differently than we do. That's always kind of puzzled me. Unless like 30 years, the way we count years, could have been 300 years their calendar. Who knows? I wonder how long is Donna gonna, I don't know. Only God knows that, Joshua. Aretha got sick. It was pancreatic cancer. Exactly right. God's timing is not ours. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Jana. The way they measured the years way back in biblical time, in Jesus's time, maybe they measured months and years differently than we do. I mean, their 300 years could have been our 30 or 40 years. Because even back in Western days, if you lived to be 30, 40 years old, you lived a long life back then. Because most people didn't last older than 40. They died fairly young, but that was old to them. Yeah, I've always wondered that, Jeanette. I've always wondered how their calendar years were way back in Jesus's time and before, you know? And I'm surprised somebody didn't try to figure that out and mention something about it in the Bible. I can't imagine the way we count years to ever reach 300 years old. Could you imagine? 300 years old. Everything in the world would be completely different from the way you grew up and lived your life. 300 years from now, what would this world be like, you know? Maybe he doesn't, Jana. I don't know. I mean, just like 50 years, 50 years ago, life was so much different than now. Back when I was in high school, there was no such thing as a cell phone. You were lucky if you had a house phone on the wall. That wasn't a party line. And it took a long time to even get that. And now look around you. There's not a soul out there, not even a elementary aged child that does not have a cell phone. I think everybody in this world that's old enough to use a cell phone and hold one has a cell phone. I cannot even, and I know I'm not going to live to see it, what life here is going to be like in 50 years from now. Look how it's already changed from 50 years ago. What is it going to be like in another 50 years, y'all? I know, I've always wondered that. Well, you watch movies and it shows how they moved rocks upwards on pulleys to get those massive rocks, boulders, up to the top of the pyramid. So they didn't have equipment to do it. They did it all by hand. But if the earth was populated and they had all this knowledge way back then in Jesus's time and before, what happened? Was the world, everybody on earth destroyed and it started over? That's what would have happened. Everything on earth as we know it would have had to vanished. And people would have had to start completely from Adam and Eve stage and start over. And build up from there. You know, you'd have to go through the caveman days and all that. I mean, yeah, they had to be very intelligent to build pyramids way back when they built them. As massive as those boulders are that they raised to put the pyramids up, as big as those pyramids are. Josh was telling Donna that one day she might light up like a light bulb. Well, you know, it's illegal in most states for you to drive with a cell phone in your hand. I'm fortunate enough that I can answer my phone through my car. I don't have to touch my cell phone driving, so I have hands-free phone in my car. But even then, I don't ever use it, not unless a call was coming in for me that, you know, I really wanted to answer, like some of my family calling me. I know they don't pay attention to anything but those cell phones. Exactly, Jana. You can have a lot of things and the world can tell you anything, but you never know when your last day is here. It is in Ohio. Cell phones are probably illegal. Well, I thought they were illegal in every state to operate a cell phone while you were driving. It is here in Texas anyway. If a cop passes you and they see you're on the phone holding the cell, they'll pull you over and give you a ticket. Exactly, Joshua. Well, you'll be able to pretty soon because they've got cars that you don't have to see where you're going. The car will drive for you. That way you'd be able to have a car that would take you anywhere you wanted to go. All you'd have to do is tell the car where to go and it would take you there. You don't have to be able to see. Isn't that pretty awesome? I mean, I don't know if it'll get that advanced in your day, but they've already got it that way. They've already got some highways that are already equipped with the tracks. And they're not really tracks that you see, but the car can detect they're on the highway and they follow the tracks. So you could tell it where, you know, give it an address that you want to go to. It's programmed into that car in the computer and it would take you there. And you don't have to do any driving. You just sit back and ride. It is there too, Frida, yeah. I thought it was illegal in all the states to operate a cell phone while you're driving. I get tons of calls when I'm driving, but usually it's from salespeople, insurance people, like that. And I don't even answer the phone. Mine is set so it'll ring about 3 times. And if I don't answer it, it'll send them a message telling them I'm driving. And they better not call me back, because if they do, I'll just cut them off anyway. Yes, in the back seat, Joshua, but not driving. Like when I'm filming driving, my camera is up on a tripod. I don't touch it. It's already on a tripod. It's already set to go, and it's running when I start driving. So I don't have any interaction with my phone, my camera while I'm driving when I'm doing a video where I'm in the car. And usually it's on the passenger side, so I couldn't reach it anyway while I'm driving. I'd have to pull over and stop. And that's what I always did before I got the car I've got now. If I was driving and I got a call coming in, and maybe I was expecting someone from my family to call, I would pull over, stop the car, see who was calling me, and if I needed to answer it, I would answer it, and then take the call, hang up, and then continue on driving. I never answered the phone while I was driving. Oh, that's scary. Well, they must have those cars equipped to where if it quits or it stops while you're in it and the doors are locked, they must have some kind of an emergency button or something to where you can communicate with the people at the home base to let them know that there's a problem. I would think so. I didn't know they had those cars in Vegas yet. That's nice to know. It's been many years since I've been to Vegas. I went once with my daughter and her husband and her mother-in-law, and we had a great time the weekend we were there. And then I went again with a guy that I was dating. We went up there, and we enjoyed the heck out of it. We hit all the shows, We went to River Dance. We went to I can't remember the name of the show, but it was where everybody in the show was a male, and they were dressed up like females, and you could not tell it. And they had Joan Rivers as the MC of the whole show. And to look at her on stage, you thought that was really Joan Rivers. But at the end of the show, all of those characters came out fully dressed like their character in women's clothes, and they looked great. And they started taking their wigs off and laying them on this table at the center of the stage, just to show that they were not who you thought they were. They were really men, actors, pretending to be who they were dressed up to be. But it was a good night. I enjoyed it, and I love to see River Dance. We wanted to go see Celine Dion, but my daughter said when she tried to get tickets, they were sold out completely. So you could not even get a ticket. MT said they make little hammers that fit nicely in a pocketbook that will break a side window in an emergency. I keep one in a cubby just above my head. That's not a bad idea. Because in these modern cars, you've all got electric windows, and the doors automatically lock at a certain speed. So if the car doesn't start up, you can't get a window down, and I don't know if the door will unlock from the inside if the power's off. I've never tried it. I mean, my doors are always been unlocked when I stopped, so I don't know. Years ago, Loretta's mom got one of those. Well, that's probably not bad to have, because I've seen these videos on people like running off road into a lake, and how they have this little tool that they can break the window out and get out the window and not drowned in the car. Because you can't roll those windows down if they're power windows. If it gets in the lake, or if the engine is cut off, you're just trapped in the car. And with the force of the water on the door, there's no way you'd be able to get the door open. Loretta said, for me, I still have it. Well, that's a good thing to have, I guess. They make little hammers that fit nicely in a pocketbook that will break a side window in an emergency. I keep in a cubby just above my head. Yep, that's exactly what I'm talking about, Miss Linda. That's coming from MT. There's good about all this modern technology, but there's bad things too. Years ago, you didn't have power windows. Hadn't even thought about power windows yet. To get that window up and down, you had to turn that hand crank. So if you rolled off in the water and your window was up, just roll that crank and your window's down. Not true today. But, first of all, you're not supposed to run off in the lake either. Yeah, Kenny Chesney, everybody's getting older, just like us. I just happened to come by a short thing on TikTok the other day, just by accident, and it's showing famous people, actors and actresses, how they look back when they were maybe 25 years old, and then it showed them today, and then it would flip over to the next one, and it kept going. And oh my gosh, all those women, like what's her name, Lucy of Desi and Lucy, the Lucy show. It showed her back in her 20s. She was a good looking woman. And then it showed her today, or how she looked the last time they photographed her. And I don't remember which ones were alive and which ones dead. I'm sure Lucille Ball has been passed away a long time. Oh, you calling it a night, Frida? Well, I'm glad you got to come in and visit with us for a few minutes. You have a good night, sleep tight, and don't let the bed bugs bite, and you stay cool and hydrated tomorrow. Yeah, always keep common sense in the middle of this technology. Yeah, I love my power windows, but I'll tell you, in case of an emergency and all of a sudden your engine is off and you can't get the door open, if the power locks are locked, and when your engine goes off, it keeps the door locked, there's no way you're going to get out unless you do bust through a window. I mean, it's scary. But then too, I said I could be prepared for just about every kind of an emergency there is. And the very one emergency that I'm not prepared for, that's what would happen to me. So, you have to use common sense in that too. You can't be prepared for everything. There's no way. But having one of those little things to break out a window is not a bad idea. I mean, even in the case where you pass by cars in a parking lot and you see a little baby in a car seat crying their eyes out, and they're just drenched in sweat because their parents left them locked up in the car with no AC on. And I see tons of videos like that every day where people literally break through the window to get that baby out of the car to save the baby's life. Now, how does someone do that? Some people say they forgot the baby was with them. How do you forget you got your child with you? I never forgot. I mean, I took my kids everywhere with me in car seat. Well, we didn't even have car seats years ago. My babies were born before car seats. I think the first car seat came around when my son was born. And then it wasn't the car seat that you have now. It was a little carry thing that you could put right on the front seat, and there was no way to strap it down. And the first upright car seat that I got that you could put on the seat, it hung over a bench seat, the front seat of the car, and it was just straight up and had a seat on it. Because I remember having one of those for my son. He'd fall asleep in it. He'd hang his little head over the little padded bar, which was about that big around. It had so much padding on it. He'd fall asleep and lay his head down on it, and I'd have to pull the car over to get him out of the seat so I could lay him down on the seat, because I knew he would have a stiff neck laying like that. Joshua says, I was thinking about the tower fan I have, and it's quiet at 24 decibels on low. I wish your air conditioner, I wish mine was quiet too, but it does not get any quieter, I'll tell you. I'm just lucky I've got it and it's running. And it has dropped to 95 degrees, so it's a few degrees cooler, getting a little cooler than it has been. Like today, it did get up to 109, but then, you know, as evening started on, the temperature started dropping pretty fast. And we're supposed to have like a week of weather where the temperature is not going to get over about 99, 98 during the day. But then after that week's up, it's going to hit triple digits again. And there is no rain in sight here, y'all. None at all. I'm going to lose everything in the garden if we don't get some rain. And this heat doesn't break. Exactly, MT. Brains are polluted. If you got a newer one, I can imagine Well, this is a fairly new AC unit. I mean, I had my AC unit and central air and heating replaced years ago when the original furnace went out. It was just a heater, a furnace to begin with, but it already had the ductwork work and everything else run to it for central heat. So when I replaced it with central heat and central AC when I had it replaced. But the people that put it in said you need to have a 3-ton or you'll never keep that house cool, because it's a mobile home. It's not well insulated. It's older. And she was right. It took every bit of this 3-ton to keep this house comfortable when it's real hot, especially when it's 110, 115 degrees outside. They say it's going to reach 109. And by that thermometer out there, it was already 120. Yeah, well, it'll be off at the end of the summer, and then it won't be long before it'll be running, making noise again, blowing the hot air out. Hopefully it just won't be making as much noise. And then there's Flora. Hello, Flora. It's become a good friend. You hear it every time I do a video or a live, so y'all know what it is. I mean, there's no way I can make it quiet. And there's Lynn. Good evening, Lynn. How are you doing today? You were at work. You must have did some overtime today. Janice said, I have a box fan running always because I like the sound. Yep, it was another hot day today. But it's cooled off tremendously. It's only 95 right now. And when I was live 2 nights ago, it was still 104 at this time. So it has cooled off a little. There's a thing is inverter air conditioners. I don't know about all that, Joshua. I'm sure they've got newfangled ones that I've never heard of before. Well, I have a fan running in my bedroom because my ceiling is too low to put in a ceiling fan, or I'd have one. But then my doctor told me with my allergies, you don't need a fan running directly on you. So I do have a fan in my bedroom. It's on a stand, but I keep it turned away from the bed. So it helps circulate the air, but it's basically pulling the air out and pushing it down the hall. But it keeps the air moving behind it where I'm at. So it helps a lot at night. Yeah, it's getting too hot even with central AC. I mean, it's 120, 130 degrees outside in the shade, and that's what my thermometer said. You know those poor air conditioners in your house are just working themselves to death. Well, I guess they say that's the ozone, you know. Everybody is ruining our country. I don't even know how to explain it all. It has to do with air pollution and everything else. Mine is just a regular 3-speed fan. And I turn it on high. But I don't have it blowing on me. We are supposed to have storms tomorrow. Well, see, we don't have any rain whatsoever in sight for the next 2 weeks even. Even though it's going to drop to like 99 for a high during the day, and it'll be like that for about a week. But after that week's up, it's going to hit triple digits again. It's not going to get to 109, but it'll be up to 100, 101, 102 or so for the next week after that, with no rain. You need the white noise. Yeah, I think that white noise helps you sleep. It helps relax you. Yep, got to keep the cool air moving. Oh, yeah, I know. I used to have a fan up in the window. When my AC was out, I realized I had a 2x4 that I cut and made like a square stand that I put behind the couch, and I put the box fan up on that right in the window because I had a screen in the window. I couldn't put it out in the window, so it was right up against the screen, and I had it pulling the cold air from the cooler air, not cold air, the cooler air from outside into the house at night. And you'd be surprised how much cooler it is outside than inside when you're in one of these mobile homes in the summer, in the winter, in the summer, in the hot weather. And I told a friend of mine about that. She had me over at her house one day, and her AC was out, and she lived in one of these double wide manufactured homes. And she said, we keep this fan up in the window, but it was, I think it was pulling air out or something. I said, well, at night especially, now this is good for daytime. When it's hot outside, when the sun's shining, you need it pulling the hot air out of the house, and that helps cool. But once the sun goes down and the temperatures cool off outside, you need to flip that fan around and have it pulling that cool air inside. And I said, it'll cool this living room off, and you think you had AC on. She didn't believe me at first. And all of a sudden she gets up and she flips that fan around, and immediately that living room cooled down. She says, oh my God, you're right. She said, it feels like I got AC on in here. I said, I told you. I said, you can do that to any room in your house at night. It'll cool the whole house down. Yeah, it's like baking. Well, if you ever lived in a mobile home, you know it gets a lot hotter inside a mobile home during the day when it's hot outside than it ever does a nice brick home. Because a brick home has the brick, it has concrete, it has extra insulation in the walls. It's got all that to help keep the heat out. A mobile home doesn't have that. They built mobile homes to be mobile. They built them to be lightweight. So it doesn't have all that insulation. Yeah, it's always cooler outside at night than it is inside in the summer. So if you flip that fan around and have it pull that cooler air from outside into your house, it'll cool it off. You'd be surprised how much it'll cool it off. Janice said, I'm a bit of a fan sound picky person. You going to do the Oneida Indian rain dance for me? Well, there was one of my videos a year or so ago where I was acting silly and got up and did a rain dance because it wouldn't rain. And I said, I need to do a rain dance and see if it works. So all of the subscribers that were in the live, they said, do a rain dance. So I got up and started wiggling around, and that thing went viral. A friend of mine that has a channel, he even made a short copy of that clip and put it in his video, and he was doing a rain dance in his, and it had me on one side doing the rain dance. You saw that video? I don't think it worked, but it doesn't hurt. I mean, hey, anything's worth a shot, isn't it? Maybe if I do one now, it'll work. I don't even know how to do a rain dance, y'all. I'm so stiff from sitting and hurting my back. Ugh. I can't wiggle around or do nothing. But I can do my arms. We need rain. We need rain. We need rain. We need rain. Oh, I'm going to quit being silly. I can't even dance anymore with my back and neck injury. You need tantamount drums. Yeah. Well, it seemed to work for the Indians. I don't know. Or they would never have started having a rain dance, would they? I'm being silly. A tam-tam? Oh, please send me some rain, Flora. Tamara Douglas, good job. I don't know if there's a certain way you got to dance when you do that. I don't move my feet a whole lot. The Indians, I think, move their feet a lot. You reckon that's where I went wrong? Is that what I did wrong? Well, you can't see my feet anyway. But I can move my feet when I'm wiggling. We gotta have rain, we gotta have rain. Gotta have rain, gotta have rain. I said I was done being silly. We could start our own powwow. Yeah. Let me see if little Lucky's still on the front porch, sleeping. He might want to come back in. Lucky. I hear you. I hear you. Where are you? Come on. You want to come back in the house? Huh? You want to come in the house? Come on. You're not moving very fast. Yeah, you're not moving very fast. Yeah, I've been in here being silly. I've been in here being silly. Yes, I have. He wasn't sleeping on the porch, but he was walking around in the yard. Yeah, he was walking around in the yard. He gets lonesome without little buddy. Are you lonesome without little buddy? You don't have your buddy to pal around with. No, we don't. He doesn't have his little buddy to pal around with. I've been thinking about getting him a new collar. One that, because I got him an engraved collar before with his name on it and my phone number and all that. And it was on him for 2 days and it disappeared. I think somebody took it off of him. Since I put his flea collar back on, it stays on. So we don't know if we're going to put him on another collar or not. Maybe just leave his flea collar on. He likes to be held. He likes loving. He likes to be petted. He's a spoiled kitty. Yes, he is. He's a spoiled kitty. Lucky, they're saying hello to you. They're saying hello to Lucky. I don't know if there's any coyotes near me or not. I haven't seen any. I think it's too populated through here now for most of the wild animals. I mean, I still got raccoons and possums come up in the yard, especially at night when there was food put out there for my cats. That's one reason I started feeding Lucky inside, is to deter the squirrels, the skunks, and the possums and the raccoons from coming up on the porch eating his food. Of course, it made some good videos that I got out of it, didn't I, Lucky? Yeah, I got to video a few of them that were out there on the porch at night. But Lucky didn't like it. They were eating his food. Yeah, Lucky didn't like it because they were eating his food. Little Buddy was the first cat that was here. He was older than Lucky. He was already about 3 or 4 years old when Lucky showed up. Lucky was 5 weeks old when he came. And he grew up with Little Buddy. Wherever Little Buddy went, Lucky went. Little Buddy come home, Lucky came home. They were always together. And poor Lucky, right after Little Buddy disappeared, it was like he was looking for him. He'd run around the house like he was looking for him, or he'd go outside and go around the yard like he was looking for him. And you could tell him he was kind of confused. He didn't know where Little Buddy was. He knew he was gone. Exactly. Those raccoons and especially skunks. I didn't want skunks. I had skunks come up on my porch eating cat food. They're beautiful animals. Oh my God, a skunk is a beautiful animal. But I don't want him spraying anywhere near my house. And I definitely don't want him spraying on the house, on the cat. Because Lucky and Little Buddy did not like the other animals coming up on the porch eating their food. And they'd hiss and growl at them. And they were getting ready to fight with them. And I said, that's all I need is for that skunk to get up there. And my cat start fighting with a skunk and get sprayed on. I'd never get the smell off those cats. Yeah, I am too. He was the sweetest cat. He's like Lucky. Lucky loves to sleep on his back. Little Buddy would stretch out his front paws and his back paws and lay flat on his belly. And he was a sweet cat too. And he's in all the older videos. You know, I had both cats in all my videos, the shorts that I did. Yeah, it was another orange tabby, like Lucky. Lucky's got more white on him than Little Buddy did. Little Buddy basically had no white except, I think, on his nose and his little feet. It looked like he had white feet. And Lucky has white all down his stomach, down the inside of his legs, and on his nose. I don't know where he went. He just walked off. He probably went in the bedroom to get up on the chair he likes to sleep on in there. I've got a desk chair, office chair in there that I set at the computer in that in bedroom. And for some reason, Lucky likes to crawl up in it and go to sleep. Yeah, I had pictures of Little Buddy on YouTube forever saying that he was missing. If anybody saw him, you know, to call me or notify me. There you are. I thought you went in the bedroom and got in the chair. He's still here in the kitchen floor. Yeah, I miss Little Buddy. He was the sweetest cat. And he's the one that come around starting to follow me in the garden. Everywhere in that garden I went, he was. And that's why Lucky started doing it. He'd come around with Little Buddy. And every time I was in the garden, I had both cats following me around. And if I was working in one spot, they'd be laying down watching me. And now it's just Lucky, so he's lonesome. He still follows me in the garden. But he knows little Buddy's not there. He misses little Buddy. Yeah, I've got squirrels. Well, I don't see ducks or geese in my yard. They stay down toward the lake. But I guarantee if it wasn't so heavily populated like it is, they'd be up here too. But I see squirrels, plenty of them in my yard because I've got oak trees around. So there's plenty of acorns for them to eat. I see tons of possum, raccoons, armadillos, like I said, skunks. And I used to catch them all the time. That's what this picture is back here. That's a possum that I caught in my live trap. And it's funny because that one was caught when my granddaughter was about, I don't know, 5 years old, 5 or 6. And she came over after I put that up there. She says, "Grandma, what is that in that picture?" I said, "That's a possum that I caught in the trap." I said, "He was under the house and I put that trap out there and caught him in the trap." He said, "Where is he now? Is he still under the house?" I said, "No." I said, "I took him for a ride and let him loose, and he went across the field and found him a new house." I'm sure they did, Joshua. Yeah, let's not talk about Buddy. I get depressed. Betty White was so funny in the movie The Proposal. I don't remember if I saw that or not. Well, little Buddy was a male cat. Lucky's male, but I had him fixed, so he pretty much stays home. Before he was fixed, you'd let him out the door and he was gone. You were lucky to see him that evening when he got hungry. And he'd get in a fight really bad with other cats. I said, "Boy, we got to fix you, make you stay home." Yep, silly is good when things get heavy. You got that right, Jana. You got to put some humor in your life. Get happy. Did I ever tell you, Jenna, that this tower fan tells you the temperature on the screen? Well, is it in Braille, Joshua? How do you know it tells you the temperature on the screen? You can't see it. Can you feel it? Or does it, like, tell you by voice that it's a certain temperature? Gladys said well, there you are, Gladys. I was wondering what happened to you. Yeah, little Buddy was a sweetheart. Yeah, Lucky's a talker. He likes talking to me, and he likes fussing at me, too. Yep, that's what keeps us alive and young. Laughter is good medicine, y'all. It doesn't talk to you. How do you know what temperature it is, Joshua? Does it show up in Braille or something? I don't know how that would work. Oh, wow, your nephew finished the shots from the owl attack. Oh, my God. He was getting the rabies shots, right, Jana? When I was 3 years old, I got bit by a rabid dog, and I had to have 21 of those rabies shots in my stomach. Now, don't you know it was not a fun thing to do to give a 4-year-old or 3-year-old child a shot in their stomach? I can't imagine that I made it easy for that doctor. Yeah, they sent his head off and it come back that it was rabbit. And I had to take 21 shots, a shot every day for 21 days. Thank God our doctor was close. He lived in the same town. Small town doctor. There's no doctors there now. Yeah, I don't remember that. I was only 3 years old. It seemed like they said he bit me up on my forehead or something. And my dad must have been around because he shot the dog, cut his head off, and they sent it to where it needed to go for the test. And they said the dog was rabies. He had rabies. I know. Lucky gets playful outside. He sees a butterfly and he thinks he can catch it. Or all of a sudden he'll run up a tree trunk. Oh no. Oh my goodness, Lynn. She said she had a patient today with a broken ankle. She's a kindergarten teacher and she was attacked by a bird of prey that confused her hairstyle with a squirrel, an animal we don't know. Oh, okay. I was just wondering, you just know that it tells the time, the temperature. You don't actually can tell what the temperature is yourself. Oh no, she was with the kids at recess. Well, I'm glad it attacked her hairstyle instead of one of the kids. That's what I've heard too, Janet, to take a bath in tomato juice. But to give a cat a bath in tomato juice, I don't know how I do it. Now, the cat I used to have, he loved a bath. I started giving him a bath when he was 5 weeks old, and he got a bath at least once a month because he stayed in the house most of the time. And I did let him out once in a while, but he stayed inside mostly. So he got a bath once a month, just so he wouldn't get all that dander built up on his fur, on his skin, which I'm allergic to. But I don't know how Lucky he would not like a bath, especially in tomato juice. And he's got sharp claws. Little Buddy was declawed. I mean, not Little Buddy, but my previous cat, Crybaby, he was declawed. Because he liked to scratch on furniture and everything when he was in the house. And I couldn't have him tearing up all my furniture, so. Yeah, you never know about these birds that are flying overhead, what they might mistake a person for. And I'm told that some of these big eagles, these great big birds, they're powerful enough that they can swoop down and literally pick up a toddler and fly off with that toddler. And that's scary. Well, that was a good thing that teacher did that. She ran away from the kids so the bird wouldn't hurt the children. Yeah, you'd need a lot of tomato juice. And I can't imagine trying to give a cat a bath in tomato juice. Lynn said her dogs run away as soon as she says, let's take a bath. Well, I used to take Crybaby and put him in the bathtub. And I had already run warm water in the bottom a couple of inches, not deep at all. And he kind of stiffened up the minute his feet hit the water. But then he knew what was coming. He knew it was bath time. And he'd relax. And he liked it when I rubbed him with the soapy water. Soaped him up and then rinsed him off. And then he really loved it when I wrapped him up in a towel and held him and let him dry. Because he'd usually fall asleep wrapped up in a towel. Yeah, I do remember that, Gladys. We had a contest, and I gave away a picture of little Buddy on a plaque that I did. And Gladys won it. Yeah, you'd have to cover your body armor. I'd have to have body armor all over my body to give this cat a bath. Especially in tomato juice. So many animal attacks and it's just humans not thinking. Well, you know, when a large bird flies overhead and they look down at you, you're a lot smaller than what you are if they were closer. And you don't know what they're mistaking you for. Yeah, it sounds more painful for the owner rather than the cat. What? You want to go back out? Huh? I think he wants to go back out because it's cooled off out there now. He likes going around the yard when it's cooled. I'll let him stay out there a little while. He doesn't like just staying in the house 24 hours a day. They hated those baths. You did animal rescues. Well, I'm sure those animals appreciated the baths after it was all over. Because some of those animals that had been rescued looked like they were in pretty bad shape. I've seen in some videos. Yes, they did, and they had yeah. Those poor stray animals, or just animals that people put out. People, you know, it seemed like they have no compassion for animals. They just figure if they don't want an animal, they just take it down the road and throw it out. Let it find a new home or fend for itself. Maybe it'll find food. Now, I don't do that with a cat or dog. But I will do it with a possum or a raccoon or skunk or an armadillo. But I'm not going to kill them. I'll catch them in my live trap and then take them down the road and turn them loose. And they can go find a new home. That's a wild animal. That's an animal that can survive out there by itself. Sometimes the cats and dogs can't. Because a lot of times they're already, you know, they've already lived with humans their whole life and they don't know what it is to be out there to take care of themselves and find their own food and stuff. Yeah, those shots are only good for one time. So if you ever get bit or scratched or anything by a wild animal after that, you got to go through those shots again. Thank God I didn't ever have to do that. My mom and dad moved back to New York City right after that happened. I don't remember exactly how old I was. I know I was 3 years old when I got hurt. And I'm not sure exactly how old I was when I got bit by that rabbit dog. I was told about it because I don't remember anything about it. I was too young. The guy I have now is a rescue dog from Tennessee. Well, good for you, Flora. So anybody got some really nice plans for this week? His name is Shadow and he watches your videos. We got a lot of people that come in and out. You know, they're not in chat, live chat, but they come in and they watch the video and then they disappear and then more come in, they disappear and more come in. I guess they're just checking us out. Loretta said, singing practice tomorrow in a group. Go out to eat with some friends. Thursday, go to baby shower. Oh, that sounds like fun. Every bit of that. You know, your dog wouldn't survive in the wild for not even 5 minutes. Yeah, some of them are so used to being taken care of their whole life, they don't know what it is to live out in the wild and take care of themselves. Yeah, one of them birds could take one of them little chihuahuas right off. They could scoop down, pick it up in their claws, and fly right off with a little chihuahua. They don't weigh anything. Oh, you're making taco supreme for my daughter's boyfriend's birthday. That sounds like a fun thing. Terry. I guess y'all read Terry's comment. I'm looking forward to airing out the house after Maxine Raisin Bran farts later on this week when it cools off a little. Oh my. Oh my goodness. Did Linda tell you her joke, Terry? I don't know if I remember the joke. I remember telling one, but I forgot what it was. I think he finally came in the live the other night, and I told him. Oh, wow, what a trip, Lynn. You're going to Puerto Rico to visit your family. Wow, that will be a nice trip. Unbelievable what that woman can do. Yeah, I think I told him that joke, that thing I read. About the husband saying something about his wife's farts. And she said, honey, she said, that's not me farting. That's my ass blowing you kisses. Somehow like that. That's as close as I can remember. We're a fun bunch here. They were a fun bunch here. They need to stay. We are a fun bunch. They need to stay longer. Yeah. I laughed so hard when I heard that joke. Well, that thing about the husband and wife and the farts. I laughed. And the first person that come to my mind was Terry. I said, Terry's got to know that. So the next time his wife farts like that, he's got to remember she's not farting. She's just her butt's blowing him kisses. Oh, I can't help it. I got so tickled at Terry's comment that he said, Maxine really loves me a lot, y'all. Flora said, daughter's boyfriend wanted a fart box, so I got him one. Oh, my goodness. Oh, that hurt my stomach. I laughed so hard. And then coughed on top of it. What in the world is a fart box? You got to tell me what a fart box is. You got that right, Stevie. Yeah, but Flora's got to tell us what a fart box is. I've never heard of one. I guess it's a box you put your farts in. I don't know. I have no idea. Oh, it's a box with Maxine wrote on it. Well, she can put all those blown kisses to you in that box, I guess. He can communicate with his butt, a remote control box that makes fart noises. Oh my goodness. Y'all are too funny. Y'all are just too funny. I have one in prank people. Jen said, I think I just caught up. Good way to areas in stores to yourself. Yeah. People start hearing that, they would definitely walk the other way. Yeah, I've heard of a Dutch oven, the one like I bake my bread in, but it's probably not a Dutch oven that you're talking about, Terry. I got a recipe for some really good bread that you put in a Dutch oven. It comes out fantastic. I'd love to bake some, but it's been too hot. Nope, not that kind. Well, you'll have to enlighten us, Terry. I don't know what kind of Dutch oven you're talking about. I made sourdough bread one time, I think. Yeah, cooler weather means breads and pies and all kind of baked stuff. Maxine has her own version of a Dutch oven. Another Times, you must be a new subscriber. I don't remember seeing your name before, but welcome. We always like new subscribers. Yes, and it's very sad that Dolly passed away today. She was a beautiful person. Yeah, breads and pies and baked potatoes and all kind of stuff in the oven sounds good. Terry. Terry said Maxine will catch him about half asleep in bed, then fart, and then immediately pull the covers over my head. She's just reminding you she's sending you kisses. I know my ex used to fart under the covers, and it would just drive me crazy. Because sooner or later, that smell's going to hit your nose, you know? And then I'm there fanning the covers trying to get rid of the smell because I can't handle it. Well, thank you, Debbie. Thanks for all your support. Yes, Dolly was one of a kind. You have PTSD now. Maxine gave you PTSD? Oh. Oh, you're cracking me up. My grandfather would fart and yell another country heard from. Terry said it was post-traumatic scent disorder. Where's Maxine right now, Terry? Is she listening to all this? Good night, Jan. I know you got work tomorrow, so you probably get up early. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. We'll see you next time. Stay cool tomorrow. Oh, man. On me, when I get to laughing, I start laughing so hard and it makes me cough. And then I'm laughing and coughing at the same time. Oh, that's a new one. Post-traumatic scent disorder. Oh. I don't know if I'm going to survive this live or not. Maxine went to Tiger Dollar General after more cereal. Oh. Well, I don't know. There's a lot of foods out there that give you more gas than cereal. But I guess cereal is Maxine's thing, huh? It's dropped to 99 degrees now. No, 93. But I don't remember a summer where it's been temperatures this high continuously every single day. To Dollar General after more cereal. Stupid autocorrect. Oh, okay. Oh, man. She's a serial killer. Oh, my goodness. I need to go to Dollar General or to Walmart or somewhere because I've got a couple of things I'm out of, but cereal's not one of them. I don't usually ever buy cereal unless it's oatmeal or Rice Krispies because I need Rice Krispies in a recipe, but I don't have a recipe coming up with Rice Krispies. But I need to get stuff like aluminum foil. I'm completely out of aluminum foil. She's a serial killer. Although I do love Raisin Bran. That was one of my favorite cereals. I grew up eating Raisin Bran, cornflakes with bananas sliced up in them, shredded wheat. I love shredded wheat. That's about the only cereal my mom always bought was shredded wheat, cornflakes, not Frosted Flakes, regular cornflakes, and Raisin Bran. Okay, Loretta, you have a blessed night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. We'll see you next time. Have a great day tomorrow. Stay cool. Stay hydrated. You're thinking about trying out dumpster diving? Seeing these folks finding... Yeah, I see that too, but I'm wondering how much of that is put on and how much of it is real. I mean, you got to go in a real ritzy, high-class neighborhood to find really good stuff thrown away. And on trash day, you can drive right down the street in some of these ritzy neighborhoods and find all kind of good furniture and all kind of good stuff out on the sidewalk. But I've never done it. I was going through one area, going into Fort Worth, going to my doctor's appointment one day, and I always cut through that neighborhood because you're not on the interstate. You know, the traffic is not bad. But I was just going through there trying to obey the speed limit. So I was going kind of slow right through the neighborhood. And I was pulled over, y'all. I can't believe it. And it was trash day. There was not dumpsters, but trash bins, you know, all along the street, out waiting to be emptied. This cop pulled me over, and he said, "Lady, what are you doing?" I said, "Well, I don't know." I said, "I don't know why you pull me over." I said, "I like to come this way because it's not heavy in traffic going to my doctor's appointment." I said, "I've got a doctor's appointment in Fort Worth." He said, "Well, I stop you because we get a lot of people coming through here driving slow, and then they see something on the street where people have thrown stuff away, and they're always stopping going through their garbage." I said, "Well, I don't care what's in these people's garbage. I'm not interested in their garbage." I said, "I came through this way because there's less traffic, and I don't like heavy traffic highways like the interstate that I was on. And I'm just trying to obey the speed limit coming through here." Because, you know, when you go through a residential neighborhood like that, the speed limit is like 25, 30 miles per hour. It's not very high. And I was just obeying the speed limit. And I thought to myself, well, that beats all I've ever seen. I'm driving through a neighborhood, abiding by the speed limit, minding my own business, and I get pulled over by a cop because he thinks I'm getting ready to go through people's garbage. It's like, get real. Do I look like I need their garbage? So you got to be careful with that. Some neighborhoods don't like it. And I said it'd be my luck to go in this ritzy neighborhood and go dumpster diving like some of these people do. And I'd have a cop drive up and wanting to know what I was looking for. Maybe he's afraid of competition. I don't know. I told him, I said, I always cut through this neighborhood when I come to Fort Worth. I said, I cut through from 377 by here, and I go by the YMCA, and I come right down through this neighborhood, and it takes me straight on where I need to go to my doctor's appointment. I told him it was on Magnolia Street, and I said I can get here easy from this direction without all the heavy traffic. Well, I kept thinking about that the next few times I went through there, wondering if I should find a better route so I'm not stopped. My mom loved the pit grape, something can't remember. It's high fiber. I hated the smell. I don't remember that. I found nice end tables in rich places, but you have to go least busy in dinner hours, yeah. But you know, if somebody throws something away and they put it on the side of the street for the garbage to pick up, I wouldn't think they would mind you stopping and picking up a table or something that they threw away because they didn't want it. It's going to the trash anyway. I think what it is, probably a lot of people stop and go through dumpsters or the bins, the trash bins, and they leave a lot of mess on the ground. They probably go through it, pull stuff out, and just leave it laying there. And that might have been, you know, what they were trying to avoid. I don't know. But once it's out for the trash guy to pick up, to me, that's public property. Like I said, although I've never stopped to get anything, I never really saw any. I mean, I saw some nice stuff sitting out on the curb in some of the nice areas that I probably wouldn't mind having, but I don't have anywhere to put stuff. And I said, there's no need in getting something that I can't do anything with. I just have to pack it in the shed. So I passed by. Yeah, I've watched several of those shows where these women go dumpster diving and they clean up whatever they find and then resell it on these resale sites like Etsy or eBay. Some of them probably even put them on Poshmark where I list my stuff. But my stuff doesn't come out of anybody's garbage. My stuff comes out of my closet or my kitchen. Most of it does. Stuff I made or that I can't wear anymore that's perfectly good. Yeah, HOA neighborhoods don't like it. They wouldn't like it here either. But yeah, most people do the dumpster diving. It's not because they want items for themselves. They go through the dumpster to find anything of value that they can resell. And then they clean it up if it needs cleaning. Clothes, they can wash them. And then they put them on these sale sites and resell them. And that's how they make money. And you know, if you go in a nice neighborhood where they throw away stuff in dumpsters, you can find a lot of name brand stuff, shoes, clothes, a lot of furniture, a lot of like end tables, lamps, all kind of stuff that they get rid of. That's perfectly fine. They just don't want it anymore. They can buy new. So then it goes on somebody's site and they make money off of it. My hospital closed and people were dumpster diving all our dumpsters. Wow. Wonder what kind of stuff they were getting out of the dumpsters. I guess stuff that came from the hospital, if it closed. There's Pippintine. She came in early and I didn't see her. Maybe Mike and I will try dumpster diving. Well, I guess depending on where you do your dumpster diving, people don't mind, you know. There's dumpsters parked behind businesses that are full of good stuff. Businesses throw away a lot of good stuff that could probably be resold. Phones, office stuff. Yeah, and I bet a lot of those people that were getting that stuff, they were going to put it up for sale somewhere. I've seen people go in real good neighborhoods where the dumpsters are, and they pull out really good name brand shoes that look practically brand new in a dumpster. They pull them out, didn't even have to clean them up. Sometimes they were even in the boxes, and they'd put them on their websites and sell them. Okay, Gladys, you have a good night, good day tomorrow. Stay hydrated and stay cool tomorrow. Sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite. We'll see you next time. I'm getting ready to get off here too. We've been on here for almost 2 hours. I feel like I'm going to wear people out with my lives. But everybody's been asking me to go live, so I had one message wanting me to go live last night, but I was just too tired. Yeah, Terry, that's exactly right. Free inventory. And you can get some good stuff if you know where to look. Yeah, clothing stores throw stuff away. Grocery stores throw a lot of food away, canned stuff, you name it. And sometimes it might be stuff that just the date was up on it that day, and they'll throw it out in the dumpster. Well, we know what expiration date is. Better to use it by that date. Doesn't mean it's not any good after that date. I'm sure if it's canned or it's canned in a jar, it'll last a lot longer than that date expires. And the food is perfectly good. Yeah, or dented, cans that are dented. You know, that's why a lot of these homeless people have figured out there's free food in some of those dumpsters. And it's perfectly fine if you're willing to go get it. And some have realized that these restaurants, you know, when they clean off their buffet tables and stuff, a lot of that food is in cartons that they throw out in the dumpster. You get the cartons on the top, the food's still hot. Perfectly fine to eat. You don't want to dig down to the bottom where it's all mixed up and yucky. But stuff on the top is perfectly fine, still packaged. Well, that was good of you, Flora. We don't have any homeless here now. We had one couple that kind of traveled around and slept down at our swimming pool, but that was when we had bathrooms and showers down there. They'd get in the fence somehow, and they'd spend the night under the canopy, take a shower. They had a restroom there they could use until people found out what they were doing, and they were told they couldn't do it anymore. First of all, at that particular time, we had no camping, so they were going against our camping rules. Besides, they were trespassing. Yeah, most of the food you buy and the can's dented, it's perfectly fine. It would have to be awfully damaged for it to get so air gets into it, you know. Well, thank God we have rules and regulations here in this town, in this county. They do not tolerate homeless people camping out anywhere. Like I said, we had a brother and sister. Their mother died. They had been living with their mother. Evidently, the house was sold. Whatever effect she had was sold. It was divided up between the family, the son, the boy and the girl. The girl, she bought a small car and camping equipment because she didn't have much money after that, but she knew she needed a car. And her brother bought a tent and stuff. And they come down to the state park. Well, you know, the limit for camping there is 2 weeks. They took up permanent residence there. Till finally, the park rangers realized what they were doing, and they were asked to leave. They couldn't stay there any longer. And they said, well, we'll go over to the other park across town. They said, no, it's all the same park. And you've already stayed your 2 weeks. Beyond that, you can't stay at any park anywhere around here. They said if you do, you're going to get cited for it and will get a ticket. I think most of the people have learned if they want to be homeless on the street, you better stay in Fort Worth or Dallas. Exactly, Flora. I've seen videos where these squatters, were not squatters, the guy was taking up money on the interstate at the overpass, and he had a sign, down on my luck, need money, or something like that. And every once in a while, a car would stop and hand him money. And they showed him at the end of the day leaving that interstate overpass. He walked about he walked about 2 blocks down and got in a brand new van and drove off. He probably lived in his van, or who knows, he probably had a really nice house that he drove to with his new van. And he was paying for it all with handouts. He made more money taking handouts like that than he would on a public job. And he didn't have to do physical work. All he had to do was be able to stay out there. I mean, I don't think I could stay out there all day like that and take up money from people. But, if they making enough money, I guess they'll do it. Yes, people do take advantage of kindness. And that's one reason if I see somebody out there like that, which I don't usually, because like I said, they can't do it here in this town. They're asked real quick to leave. Because you never know. You never know who honestly needs the money or who's just there to make an easy dollar. I mean, we have plenty of food banks, stuff like that around this town, that if people need food, they can go to the food bank. There's government assistance to help them find a place to live, help them find a job. They just got to go ask for it and fill out forms. But, some people don't want the responsibility of paying bills every month. They'd rather live out in the street than to have an apartment they got to pay rent on. And mind you, too, some people, even if they're on a Social Security check, they don't make them enough money to rent an apartment. I mean, the rent on an apartment, a real cheap apartment, would probably take their whole check. I know I'm one of them. I'm getting a Social Security retirement check, and I got to make money off of YouTube to make my ends meet. Or I'd be out on the street. Or steal a home. Now, we had a lot of people before so many people moved in and started building homes here. The houses, some of them were so far apart that you didn't know if there was a person in the house on the next block or not. And some of these houses were empty. Maybe the owners used them as a summer vacation home, and they were only down here a couple of weeks out of the whole year. The rest of the year, that house sat empty. And we had teenagers that would break in those homes, have parties in there, sleep overnight, whatever, and even ended up burning some of them down because they'd be smoking or lit fires or whatever in there. But they were finally all rounded up, and you don't hear of that going on now. Plus, there's so much home building going on, it'd be hard to do that now. Because if there's an empty house there, they're probably building a new one next to it. Or sometimes you'd get these people on drugs that would get into one of these empty houses, and they'd actually make their drugs in the house or sell the drugs right out of that house. And it wasn't their house. But like I said, they were eventually caught, so they don't do it anymore. Yeah, I don't know what they did with them for being in a house doing drugs and all that, but for one, that's trespassing. Two, that's illegal substances, so they probably went to jail for a while. Well, y'all, this is Tuesday night. A lot of people have to get up early in the morning, or maybe they got things to do tomorrow. And we've been on here for almost 2 hours. I don't know exactly how long. Hour and 51 minutes. So I want to thank each and every one of you for coming into my live. I've seen assholes claiming homes, renting them out. Oh, isn't that terrible? Yeah, some people see a home empty and they case the home and they find out maybe who they just squat in the house. They move in and make people around them think it's their house. Either they're renting it from the owners, but they make them think they're living there. When they're squatters, they're not paying for that house. They don't own it. They're not paying rent. They're living there for free till they get caught or they decide to move out somewhere else. I'd be afraid one night when I'd be getting ready to go to bed, I'd get a knock on my front door from a police officer telling me that I had to evict this home because it didn't belong to me. That'd be terrible. But a lot of people actually cannot afford a place to rent because the rent is too high. It's too expensive to rent a place. They don't have enough money coming in. I got to thinking about it the other day. I said, I can't believe it takes my check and what I make on YouTube, and I'm not making payments. My house is paid for. My car is paid for. All of it is to Medicare, to supplement insurance, prescription coverage, insurance, maintenance on the house, utilities like electric, gas for the furnace, water bill, trash bill. All that money, what in the world would I do? How would I pay a rent? I couldn't pay a rent. All my money's gone every month and I don't rent. I don't make a payment. Yeah, somebody needs to put a cap on rent. And it would help too if they put a cap on these building homes too. Yeah, I told the water company guy that come here the other day to check my water meter. I said, it's outrageous. I say, I pay $59 a month flat rate bill on my water. That's before I use a drop. I pay taxes on that $59. I pay service charges on top of that $59. My water usage on my last water bill was $22 of what actual water I used. My water bill was $102. I'm used to living back home where you didn't have a water bill. You pumped your own water out of your own well. I mean, you had to buy your own water pump. You had to maintain your water pump, but you weren't paying $100 a month to pump water. And I called the guy with Cigna, which it's HealthSpring or something now. They are going, he told me they're going up on my supplement insurance. Now this is just the 20% Medicare doesn't pay. It's going up to $289 the 1st of September. And then I pay separate $70 for a prescription plan. And I told him, I said, this is outrageous. I said, do you realize that y'all are paying just as much, and it's not going to be long before you're charging more than Medicare charges to pay 80% of your medical bill? I think something's wrong with that number. You shouldn't pay more for a supplement coverage than Medicare charges for the 80% they pay. Something is bad wrong. So I don't know. I'm probably going to be trying to get mine lowered somehow. But I called one of those numbers on Facebook where they send advertisements scrolling through. If you're on Plan G, get it for $89. Don't pay outrageous prices. I called one of those and I said, well, I'd love to get my Plan G down to $89 a month instead of what I'm paying. He checked. You know what he quoted me as a price per month? He said, I'm sorry, lady, we can't give you the Plan G for any less than $300 a month. I said, thank you very much, and hung up on him. I don't know about ARP. I haven't checked. Well, ARP has all those, what do you call those plans? The plans that ARP has and some of the plans that Medicare has, they're so complicated. They'll pay this doctor, they won't pay this doctor. They'll pay for this medical procedure, they won't pay for this one. They'll pay for this medication, they won't pay for this one. They'll pay for this doctor, they won't pay for this one. I said, I don't even want to think about figuring all that out. So I got a Plan G to where I can go to any doctor I need to go to, any hospital, wherever I'm at, and they take care of it. And some of those other plans, you got to pay X amount of dollars if you go to the emergency room. You got to, like, $1,000 just to go to the emergency room, or $2,000 to be admitted to the hospital. Or maybe there's a $4,000 deductible for the year. And that means if you meet the $4,000 this year, you're okay for the rest of that year, but then it starts all over the next year. And you got to have another $4,000 deductible. And I said, that is not going to do me any good. So I said the Plan G was best for me. I don't have to figure out where I can go, what I can do, what I can get. I don't need money to pay up front to go to the emergency room. I don't need money to pay up front to be admitted to the hospital. I mean, it's crazy, y'all. This world is money hungry, full of money hungry people. I mean, I'm paying $300 and some odd dollars. I think it's for Medicare now, for A and B. And that's went up from what it used to be. But they pay 80%. And the 20% is almost costing you more than Medicare's charging. That is totally wrong. Yes, I'm retired. I was on disability at one time when I was going through cancer that I didn't have. But I got off of it because I had to go to work. I didn't have enough money coming in on a disability check. Yeah, is that what they call it, the Advantage plans? They are so complicated. They are so twisted up. I don't even want to think about figuring it all out. Yeah, it's all a bunch of horse, but that's what they want it to be. They don't want you to be able to figure out what they pay for and what they don't. They just want to tell you, well, when you need it, that they don't pay for it. But you got to pay us to have it. So I went with the Plan G so I knew what I was getting. But I was only paying like, I don't know, something like $129 a month for Plan G when I first got it. And then it started going up. And I called one time and talked to one of the ladies with the company. And she said, well, I can't lower it, but call this number and it'll give you a new agent, one of the agents that just started out, and he'll sign you up under his Plan G, which is the same as what you've already got. The only difference is your plan will be cut in half, the cost of it. So I did. But then, that gradually goes up too. And she said, don't lose that number because you'll probably never get anybody else that'll give you the number to call. And who knows, in time, she said, it may not be a good number to call anyway. Well, every time I've called since without that number, they say, well, there's nothing we can do. That's what the cost is, and that's what you got to pay. But it's crazy, y'all. I mean, like I said, I got to have about $700 a month just for Medicare, supplement insurance, prescription plan. And I know Medicare takes their part out before you even get your money sent to you. But still, that's a cost to me. That's over $300 that I would have to spend on something I needed other than Medicare. But, you know, I need Medicare as well, so I can't do anything about that. Yes, life was so uncomplicated when I was still married and I was under my husband's insurance company at work. Because, you know, they take the insurance, I mean, the company you work for has the insurance taken out of your check every month or every week or however they do it, and that you don't miss it, but you're covered. The kids were usually covered too, either under my husband's plan, or they had a second plan at school. You could take out a health policy at school, a medical policy, that covered the kids 24 hours a day, and it didn't matter where they were. They didn't have to be on the school property. If they were anywhere and got hurt, they could still use that coverage, which I don't know if they offer it now, but they did back when my kids were in school. So that was a lifesaver to me when I was divorced and raising my two kids on my own. I think my husband still kept them under his insurance, but he told me to go ahead and get the insurance at the school too, as long as they offer. Because you can't have too much. Because, you know, the policy at school didn't cost hardly anything for the whole year. Well, thank you, Flora. I appreciate you sharing my videos. I need all the shares and views I can get. My income depends on the views on my videos and my lives every day. Thankfully, my mom has help from family because some months her medical costs alone have been $400 more per month than she gets from Social Security. Then there's food and shelter, utility. Yeah, without YouTube, I couldn't live. I mean, I wouldn't be able to stay here, I don't think. And the bills keep going up and up and up. Like years ago, it didn't matter how much water I used with 4 people here. Our water bill was like $69 a month. And now it's just me living here with a small garden, rationing water myself to keep, you know, water usage down. And my water bill was $102. I don't believe it. Yeah, don't forget to like and share my videos, y'all. Well, I was getting ready to get off of here. I know y'all have things to do. Some of you need to get to bed because you got places and things to do tomorrow. So, like I said, I appreciate each and every one of you for coming into my live, spending this time with me. Y'all sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Stay hydrated and stay cool tomorrow. And we'll see you on the next one. Love y'all. Bye now.